Back in 2006, I got fired by a realtor, and it was a little bit of a a pop of ego, so to speak. A little bit like had to duck my head between my tail between my legs, as they say. A lot of things were happening. The market was insane. It was going crazy, a lot like we're seeing today. And I was still going out being prudent. I was making offers the way that I knew, based on my mathematical formulas, I knew that I was supposed to make them. And but this realtor, I made probably 13 or 14 offers, and none of them were accepted. And she kept saying that I was going in too low, the market was too hot, and that I would never get a deal doing it the way that. And I'm like, no, like this works. It will get a deal. And I tried and tried and tried, and lo and behold, she fired me. She said, "Well, this isn't going to work. Sorry, we're done." And I got fired. Now, if you're in a position right now where maybe you've been fired by a real estate agent, or maybe you're doing whatever methods you've been doing trying to get a deal, they're just not working. I feel you, I do. But I will say this, deals are happening right now. Literally, one of the private clients that I get to work with, Aaron and his wife Paulette, they are crushing it. I want to give a shout out to them, number one, but they've done, and keep in mind, they were rookies in real estate no more than a year ago. Okay. And they've come in, they've hit it hard. They're a hardworking team. Like they're literally like doing what they're supposed to do to make this happen. Just in the last 2 weeks, they've signed 12 deals. They've got 12 deals. I believe they've even got a 13th that's coming in, like either today, tomorrow, something like that. But imagine that, 12 deals in 2 weeks, 12 deals in 2 weeks. I remember the first call that I had with Aaron, he actually reminded me of the call. He said to me, he asked me the question, "Hey, do you think it's possible to do a deal a month, or at least a deal in 3 months?" And I said, "Yeah, you could probably even do a deal per week." And at the time, I don't think he really believed me. He, I'm not sure. I don't even remember what he said, but I don't think he really believed me. But now he does. Now that he's got 12 contracts in 2 weeks, he believes me, and he deserves it. This family is so good, so incredible. Actually, I want to see if he'll come on and maybe we can do an interview and pull out some of the gold nuggets that him and Paulette are doing, because they're doing good things. And I think that inspiration can help a lot of people that's out there. But there's deals that are being made. Okay. They're happening right now. Now, if you're wondering like, well, is now the right time? Should I be learning this stuff? Should I be doing this stuff? Should I just wait for a market crash? All that kind of stuff. Here's the thing. I don't want to like burst your bubble too much, but if you're like on the sidelines waiting and waiting and waiting, the thing is that you're probably going to wait so long that even if a market window opens up, if you're not in the game, learning the game every single day, studying the moves, all that kind of stuff, then you're probably just going to miss the boat altogether. I'm not joking. Right now, there's more demand than there was at the last cycle. There's more buyer demand. We haven't built houses, nearly enough houses in more than a decade. So there's a housing shortage right now. Even with the Fed pulling levers, trying to raise interest rates to back down inflation, it just doesn't work quite that way. Watch, okay? I'm going to pull this up. We'll actually pull up the 30-year fixed mortgage rates. This is the 30-year fixed mortgage rates. And what I want us to pay attention to specifically, you can see the years down here. Look at the 80s. The 80s, this is the last time that inflation ran the way that it's running right now. Like you can even look at this, like Fast Company has a whole article on this, and back during the 80s, the last time inflation rates were similar to what we're seeing today, rates peaked at more than 18%. Okay. This isn't just me trying to tell you this is what's going on or this is what could happen, but this is actually what happened the last time that interest rate, or the last time that inflation ran the way that it is right now. We haven't had inflation running like this since the 80s. And what happened in the 80s? Well, they had to keep raising interest rates. They backed off, they peaked out, and then they backed off a little bit. And when I say a little bit, they were up at what 16%, and then they dropped down to what 12.58%, 12.18%. Holy cow. That's what they had to do though to combat inflation. And today, in the last 2 years, the federal government has printed more money than we did to band-aid any crisis in the past. A lot more money. So what do you think is going to happen right now with interest rates? Do you think interest rates are going to retreat? Let me know in the comments. Do you think interest rates are going to retreat? Do you think interest rates are going to go down in the next 2 years? Okay. Look at history. Okay. We have not had inflation running the way that it is right now. Inflation is running crazy. If your cash is sitting in the bank right now, say goodbye. It's being eaten alive. It's like if you, my dad had this 67 Mustang. He still has it. And for a number of years, they just parked it. They parked it in the garage and it just sat. And then what happened? Mice broke into it and they started eating it away. And he had this beautiful, nice Mustang. He had just had the exterior repainted. And then because it sat there and nothing was happening with it, the mice were eating it away. Think of your money in a savings account the same way. If you've got money in a savings account right now, it is being eaten away by mice called inflation. It's taking it. So people ask me all the time the question, well, should I wait? Should I just let the market cycle? Should I let it crash? The thing is that your money is being eaten alive right now. And if you do, even if the money is not part of the equation, if you do just decide to wait, you will certainly miss any opportunity. If the market does have any kind of correction, or if it does have a flat line, you will be long gone, because there's already people in the game that are playing it every single day. They're watching for it. They're waiting for it. They're positioned for it. They just know because they're in there doing the workout every single day. So then it makes people that are just kind of sitting on the sidelines, usually, like, if you do get a chance sitting on the sidelines to get in, it's usually like second and third best. It's never the best stuff that's out there by far. And the other thing is that there are deals right now. There are deals in every single market cycle. Like if we back up, okay, we'll look at the 30-year treasury rate all the way up to today. Look at this, by the way. If you look at today's rates, they're insanely low versus what history has been. Insanely low. And I know it still feels like it's like when gas prices go up for the first time, we all like gripe and we complain like, gas prices. Well, here's the thing. Interest rates, if you look at it from a historical perspective, they're really low. My first duplex that I ever bought, it was in the 7 percentile. And it was a really good deal. And it cash flowed and everything was good with it and all that stuff. So like for us to gripe and complain, I know I want everything for free too. I wish it could be that way. I don't. I take that statement back. I don't want everything for free. I want to be able to work hard and earn what I have on this planet. And while I'm passing through before I get to go see the big guy upstairs. But in the time being, like, it's nice to have stuff for less, right? So when interest rates are low, yes, we want to grab. But what I'm saying right now is that interest rates aren't that bad. They're really not. And I'm going to get some flack for that. I get it. I understand. But if you look at it from a historical perspective, look at this. Look at this graph. This just shows everything. You can Google search this stuff yourself. Just type in Fred, FRED, 30-year fixed mortgage rate, United States, and you'll see it all. Okay. Now, there's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen with housing and all that kind of stuff. This article does a really nice summary of it, by the way, from Fast Company. And they're saying in here, like, well, hey, we expect home prices to keep rising. The NAR, National Association of Realtors, they're expecting that rates going up are going to cause a slowdown of people buying houses, but they don't expect to see house prices lowering. They just don't. They don't. And then they go in here and they cite all the reasons why and all that kind of stuff. It's mainly just a big lack of inventory. I've got a hedge fund that I get to do some stuff with, and I've done a couple hundred properties with over the years. And he was explaining to me, he had all the data on this, and he showed me straight out that because they didn't develop land, they weren't doing lot splits, like city offices were closed and permits weren't, like, a whole bunch of stuff went on hold during the whole, chaotic period of all of our lives when everything shut down. And during that period, a lot of stuff just didn't happen. And that if you compile on top of that, the fact that builders have underbuilt for the last 10 years, like, there's a lot of reasons why the market is where it is right now. There's a lot of demand still. So even with interest rates rising, there's still going to be demand. There still is. Now, at some point, with the interest rates, if they spike it too much, certainly they could reverse it. And that's typically, if you look at any kind of government interventions, whenever the government gets involved on a mass scale like this, they usually pull the lever too hard. I just don't know when that's going to be. I don't know when. No one does. That's all crystal ball talk. It's all speculation. But I'm telling you right now that if you're not in the game right now, playing the game, you're going to miss any opportunity. More than likely, at least you're not going to get first best. That's for certainly sure. When I got fired by my realtor back in 2006, if I would have quit, which many people told me, they're like, hey, it's impossible. You're not going to make this work, blah, blah, blah. It's, too much, whatever. If I would have quit, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have been able to, with my family and I, we were so blessed. We recently got this 38 unit apartment building in Lexington, Kentucky. We got another Airbnb coming here in Greenville. Like, we got another duplex that I just found out we got under contract. We got a couple more multifamilies, a 72 unit that looks like it's coming through. Like, this is a major blessing. And I don't take it lightly at all. It's all from above, 100%. But the reason that it's coming is because I'm in the game. I'm analyzing the numbers. I'm being patient. I'm not overshooting. I'm not going to like grab something on speculation. We've put out more than 30 offers to get one building. So I'm still like playing the game. But for you, don't take this as like sit on the sidelines time. Get in the game, learn the game. I'd encourage you to do this. If you don't know the SLP framework, maybe like right now you've been trying really hard and for whatever reason it's just not clicking and you're not getting the deal and all that kind of stuff, then what I'm going to encourage you to do is play a little bit more of the SLP role. What that means physically is this. There's selecting a property. The L stands for leverage. That means going and getting a bank loan. Don't worry about that right now. And then there's the P, okay? The P is partner. If you're not having success finding and selecting the properties, then what I would encourage you to do is become the partner. Become the partner. Be the person that brings money to the equation. You can make really generous amounts of money. I had a really smart guy call me yesterday morning. He's been an investor for the last 10 years, done really, really well financially. In fact, he told me he's got another $500,000 cash coming to him pretty soon, leveraging some of the other properties that he has. And he told me his whole business plan and what he's doing really, really well. But the reason that he called me is because he's looking to be the partner. He's got a day job. He likes his day job and all that kind of stuff, but he wants to be a partner because let's face it, like it's hard to find deals. And if you're not in that business, if you're not rowing the boat every single day, then it's hard to actually create that opportunity that's out there. And then he can leverage his time as well. So he's a smart guy for that. That's why a ton of clients come to us. Okay. So I'm not sure which stage in the journey you're on, but if you would like help either selecting properties, like figuring out how to get these sellers coming into you, that's the S in the SLP. If you'd like help with that, type SLP in the comments below. SLP in the comments below. My team will reach out to you. We'll jump on the phone. We'll do a quick 15-minute phone call. We'll literally map the whole thing out for you. SLP, like it's just the way to go. And if you're on the other side of the fence, if you're like, well, hey, maybe I should consider just being the financial partner. Maybe that would make sense to me instead of me having to run around and try to like catch these sellers before they go to the market and all that kind of stuff and submit 30 offers to get one accepted. Then maybe you would be better suited to be the partner. It's better than just sitting on the sidelines, letting mice eat away your money, inflation, right? Then I'd like you to type in the comments below SLP. And one way or another, we can jump on the line, quick 15-minute phone call. We'll map it out for you, free of charge, by the way. And if that makes sense to you and you're like, hey, this makes sense, show me opportunities, show me deals, all that kind of stuff, then we can talk about that. If it doesn't make sense, no big deal. Totally cool here. Okay. So just don't sit on the sidelines. Don't wait this out. Interest rates aren't going to retreat in the short term, not unless something catastrophic happens. When I look back at this 30-year schedule right here, I mean, like we can go back in time all the way. When I look back on it, and I compare it to housing prices, that's actually the best illustration. I did that on a previous broadcast. When you compare it to housing prices, basically what happens, it's not like a hand-in-hand inflation or interest rates go up, prices come down. It doesn't work like that. There's usually a delay factor, a couple of years in some cases. And then in the 80s, it just didn't come down. No way. Interest rates just kept going and going and going. And they just couldn't combat inflation. They had to do what they had to do. They were in the middle of the S&L crisis in the 80s. And right now we're in a crisis. Whether it's admitted or not by the mainstream media, we are in a crisis. Never before has this much money been printed in the United States of America. Never before. And if you look at the rise and fall of any of the nations throughout history, you'll see a trend, okay? When governments get in trouble and they start printing money like that, print, their currency becomes worth less. And then in a lot of cases, there's been over 200 currencies that have just gone kaput, gonzo. They had to wipe them out. Okay. I'm not saying that that's going to happen to the US dollar, but I'm saying that right now, like it's got to go through some kind of adjustment. It has to. We printed way too much money, handed it out. People were getting money for staying at home. And I'm not saying that I disagree with, well, that's a political debate I won't get into right now. Some of the money that got handed out shouldn't have been handed out. I'll say that. Okay. But it is what it is. Can't change it. Right now, it's going to adjust. It's going to adjust the valuation of the dollar. And the only true hedge against it is having hard assets, physical gold, physical silver, maybe. And I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not trying to tell you to like jump into stuff that I don't know about, but like hard assets are typically what do best in inflationary environments. Real estate is it. Real estate's it. During the whole last cycle, I was blessed. Okay. My parents weren't like real estate moguls or anything like that. Never, ever, ever. But I did watch them as a child take every spare dollar they had and they put it into real estate. They bought this 80-acre farm property, then they bought a lake cabin. Like they put it into real estate. And now when I reflect on what they've accomplished in their life, those have been the best investments that they've ever made by far, because they've gone up in value so much, like incredible amounts. They would have never got that leaving their money in a bank account. And you and I will never become wealthy just working in our job. It just doesn't work. We'll never get to the level of wealth that we want to. You have to invest. You have to invest to get to the level of true wealth. Okay. That's it for today. If you want to jam about this whole SLP concept, where either, if you want help learning how to go out there and hustle and find these deals, or you want help learning how to just be the partner where you bring in the cash, then just type SLP in the comments below. All right. Thanks. God bless. I got to sign off because I've got a homeschool conference that we're here at. So I got to go get over to that now. Thanks. Have a good day.